reliant on all of the various and perspective we have for how the deaf can be, how the deaf can. So many people that time seemed like deaf can, deaf different, deaf can. Mel was deaf can, and demonstrated that in his own life and life. Strong influence me because of his good teaching them. Was weird in 2000. Profound. She was right. Yeah. Mesa, then Gilbert, because Mesa closed for, and now December Mesa will reopen. So still serving Gilbert Temple now. Next death session will be December 18th. Will be the last Gilbert ASL transferred back to Mesa Temple. So since 2005. What we know that just before the Lord so remember now the temple, not full attention. Meanwhile, saints in where? Missouri, 900 miles. No train, just horse and walk. So a long time for mail to back to Kirtland to church headquarters, and then back mail, and it goes back and forth, and found out what's happening in Missouri. What horrible. The saints are persecuted. Why? Many reasons. That Jackson County, many people there, about 1/3 Mormon. Other 2/3, not like them. It's like group of people, not include much of the outside community involved. People now, right, say they call it isolation like. And what people don't understand, most of the time people become hateful or resent them. And the church suffered from that. They were good people, but the Mormons were against slavery. And many people in Missouri support slavery. So they don't want to, they're threatened because of that. Yeah, it was a bad environment there. But the Lord had told Joseph Smith that Zion would be set up there in Missouri, Independence area. So the church wanted to defend that and wanted to build up Zion. And the people in that area are not allowing it. So Joseph, people send out messengers to collect together a group that later became called what? Zion Camp. But just before Zion Camp, understand that these scriptures, DNC, also talk about the High Council and establishing. Why? For keeping the church pure, to allow repentance. For me, amazing. People who became strong supporters of Joseph Smith and the church became enemies of the church and fought against the church and spread bad lies. Joseph in jail because of those lies. And later, when those people repented, Joseph Smith says, I forgive you. Friends we were before, and now friends we become again, alas. And that just impressed me. Joseph was a man. He was human. Himself said he had foibles, meaning weaknesses. But he showed some very much like Christ-like character, and that of forgiveness, fast forgiveness, just amazed me. I wish that from that message of his life, if we can learn that, we'd benefit a lot. And then you have at the same time the called United Order. United Order. This is a high principle for people who are first understanding this. The people who join, everything they own, they give to the order, the United Order. And then the United Order, the bishop or whoever, according to what? Need. So that means like a doctor himself, get back because need. So some people did little contribution, not work hard, and other people did a lot, and it was even, started to have bitter feelings, unfair, not even, not fair. I work hard, you not work hard. And it was like, yeah, yes. And at first, everyone has that spiritual feeling like, I feel good. But later, it's like the weaknesses begin to like infiltrate, and then it just fell apart. They tried again in Utah later in the church history, and Orderville, Utah, and other places, some more success, but they all eventually failed. But this is the first time that the Lord has explained the United Order, or United order. I don't know what the sign for that, sorry. And then we come to Zion's camp. And this is the big one because they decided that we need to go defend our property, our lands. We need to defend the saints. We better go. So they collected all together volunteers to go. I'm trying to remember the number. 230 men, women, children, mostly men, all decide to march. On the way, they realize they're not experienced soldiers. So on the way, they practiced and became more disciplined on soldier ways and marching and how army groups operate and preparing for battles back and forth to get ready. They have one brother himself, experienced soldier from the War of 1812. They have another one from England, himself was from some dragoons or some experience with military army something. And so they were in charge. They were picked and put in charge to do the training. Now we'd call it boot camp. Okay, but that's what they were on the way. So they'd march and walk 900 miles. Now, I'm born, raised Ohio. My family, my friends, where? Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri. Oh, it's horrible. It is so humid, especially Missouri. Maybe the Lord loves Missouri, but most people, humans, not like Missouri. It's very humid. And they were marching in the sun and the heat and the humidity, and it was very difficult times. But they marched, and they had a willingness to go. And that brings this word to, words like willingness. It's so important. And discipline is so important. And these brothers and sisters were willing to go, to hear the prophet's call, and to go and to serve. But it was hard, and there were arguments and contentions and aggravations and upsets, and they tried to resolve them. And as they got closer to Missouri, Joseph said, the Lord will send a scourge on you if we don't repent. And sure enough, 68 people became sick with, I wrote down what the disease, and I think 2 or 3 died from it just as they arrived in Missouri. So they arrived at Missouri, and it was already arranged ahead of time that the government would give soldiers to protect the Zion's camp, because those Missouri 2/3, remember, of the county was against, and they don't want a war and people being killed. They just want to defend our people. Some people think Zion's camp purpose, what? Go and beat and the enemy. It was to defend our lands and our people. That was the reason. So they arrive, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And they were practicing and getting ready if they need to. So I'm sure that some have thought that they're going to be in a war or a battle, some kind. So when the governor not show up with his to defend our group, they met the enemies and discussed and decided that they would sell the land to them and it would be friendly and get along. And then it fell apart, and it was not good. And it looked like at the last minute, maybe it was going to become a bad situation. And then the Lord told Joseph Smith, do not fight. You are to disband, go home, whatever. And instead of fighting your job, build relationships with the community in the area. Can you imagine you just marched 900 miles expecting one thing and I'm sure that most of the people were happy they not have to shoot someone. I mean, I don't want to look forward in my life to shooting someone. If I have to defend myself, that's a different story. But so there's the revelation, not fight, build relations. And then on June 30th, they were told to disband. Some people stayed. Most of the people went back to Kirtland and, back to Ohio. And I just remember as a boy, 15 old, in Missouri with my friends, and the mosquitoes were so big, they were so big that it felt like 4 could pick you up and carry you off. It felt like they were blood. They were just horrible. They felt like so big, and the humidity. And I imagined, and that was June when I was 15 years old. I can just imagine they walked for 900 miles, and they had to have suffered so much. But what were the lessons? And that's the key here. Many people, guys, Joe Smith, you are failed prophet. You didn't fight. This was the time. What a waste of our time, because going all the way there and all the way back to Kirtland, Ohio. Others felt they learned valuable lessons. Some of the brothers at that time, I remember Brigham Young, future became prophet, second prophet of the church. He said that it was valuable lessons that they learned from that experience. What helped was on the way, they had to become organized, set up groups, set up leaders, and obey and follow and coordinate. A few years later, they moved Kirtland to Missouri, and then Missouri to Illinois, and then the big exodus, where? To Salt Lake City. And those lessons they learned from Zion's camp on organizing, coordinating, obeying leaders, already that Zion's camp. So for me, I feel like the Lord has this big picture, and he can see. He didn't want the fight. He wanted what? Spread the gospel, the restored gospel of Jesus Christ. Spread this. How do we do it? God knows the beginning to the end. We don't. He does. He knows eventually they're going to have to leave the United States of America and go to move to the territory somewhere to try to find religious freedom. He knows. He already knows where. So Zion's camp prepared and taught many good lessons of that. Interesting. The people involved, Zion's camp, read the list of names. Who what they became, the apostles, the 70, all the church leaders, most Zion's camp. Why? Proved willing and will obey. Willing and obey, both. Many people are willing, but they're weak and they don't obey and they don't follow through. But these people did. Not easy life. The Lord has plans for us that we can't see. I remember this story of the stone, where the Lord tells the man, this is not doctrine, okay? The Lord tells the man, push against this big stone. Okay, and he pushes, it doesn't move. And he pushes, and it doesn't move. Day, weeks, months, pushing. Satan tries to tempt him. Psst, your failure, you never moved it. The Lord's not going to be happy with you trying to tempt him and weaken the man. But the man felt discouraged, but never gave up and pushed. Later, the Lord came, and the man said, I'm sorry, Lord, I never moved the stone. And the Lord said, I never asked you to move the stone. I asked you to push against it. And now look at your muscles and look at your tan from the sun and look at your strength and your character and your physical. You did exactly what I asked of you. And now I will move the stone. And the Lord finished, done. And the lesson was, and I know it's not doctrine, but I love the story because sometimes the Lord asks us to do something and we invent what we think he wants us to do. And sometimes he wants us to do that thing, and it's a different result than we expected. We expected a big fight, disband, go home, build relationships in the community. What? Some of the people were bitter, others were stronger from it. It just depends on our perspective often. So, how much time? Okay. Wow. You didn't warn me of that question, so I'm not ready with a quick answer, but I would answer several. Zion's camp for me. My work on the job training. My profession has no school to teach it. Go sit down, student, learn. Only way to learn is be there, do it, learn from it. I didn't know. I was working in that job, supporting my family, other job offers. Oh, pray. But that more money, I should go there. Logical. Stay here? Okay. Again, those detours, opportunities. But without that, I stayed. Eventually, I look back down the road and I see I have a profession. I didn't know I was working on a profession. And I have a job. I have a career I didn't expect because it's not in a book. Pick your career. It was a new, interesting, innovative thing. What interesting ways. The Lord has the big picture. He said, you, Mr. Music major before my mission, I'm going to pick you and put you in the deaf world of silence. No music, no rhyme. Everything you've been involved with is going to be different now. But willingness and obedience, blessings come. So I feel the Lord's blessed me many ways. And now I'm an old man. I thought the Lord is finished testing me. Finished. Already through this. Last year, lost my job because of COVID. Now what? What will happen? November? Yes. Everything. And I pleaded to the Lord, what do you want me to do? I will do anything. Sell the house, move, go, serve here, serve there. You know my life. I'm always willing to obey. Just tell me, I need some direction. I felt like calm. The Spirit was there, calm. I go, oh. Later, my wife comes home. I said, everything's going to be okay now. She says, I know. My wife's the faithful one. I'm the one who's always struggling. She never struggles because she's just that pure faith. Ends up February this year, new job. Bennett's from the old job, not expect. Wife got a new job. Everything. We're better situation than last year when it looked very bleak. Instead, it's some of the best blessings we've ever received. Who expected that? So I try to tell people, the Lord has the big picture. He has a mission for you, a purpose, whatever you want to use the sign. Our goal, I just had a few minutes ago, I had a conversation with a new returned missionary. What do you think I should do with my life, Brother Shoemaker? And I said, you should be like Christ at the temple, Old 12. When parents came, what's up? He responded, would you not that I be about my Father's business? Now that's the quote. You would sign it. Right? Of course, right. I told him, stop thinking myself, what I want, need, me, want. Yes, it's important, but what is God's purpose for you? Before you left the pre-existence, he put his hands on your head and blessed you to go to earth. And he gave you the Father's blessing, not earthly, the big guy. Blessed, yeah, blessing for your purpose on earth. What is that? Find out that, do that. Then you'll be joyful because you find yourself, when you lose yourself in the service of others, that's the pure joy. You will find so much happiness when you do what Father sent you here. So the goal is to discover, seek and find, what's my purpose here? Zion's camp, challenges in life, going to happen all the time. So the big picture of Father in heaven is he already knows. You start the game, move. He already knows how it will end. He knows all the blessings that he's holding, waiting for that moment. Oh, there, blessing. Oh, more blessing. You're not expecting them. The Satan is tempting, make it look dismal, make it like, oh no, we're lost, we can't succeed. Push on through that mist of darkness, hold to that iron rod. That simple lesson. I hear people say, oh, that's just Sunday school answers. The simplest answers are the most pure answers. Don't make it a negative that it seems like a simple answer. That's the beauty of the gospel. Jesus, what's the greatest of the commandments? Love the Lord, Father, with all your heart, might, strength. Love your neighbors as yourself. Simple. Don't make it too complex. Make it simple. So